another family and the things that we need to improve on. And we're not going to look at the good stuff today, we're just zooming through and looking at the key improvements, which are, number one, we're still looking at sunspots. So do you see this? So we did a whole series of pictures at this fence, but I wasn't able to use any of them because of the light on the face, right? So can you see it now that it's in the computer? Sometimes it's hard, you know, when you're like there in person and you've got a lot on your mind, and the light's changing. I totally get it, but when you get back to the computer, you can kind of see what it looks like. So there's light there and shadows here, and light there and shadows here, and then light speckled down here, and it's very distracting. And what we're wanting is a really solid light, more like what's on the baby's face. Actually, the baby has very solid light on his face, and then the mom doesn't. And so yes, that's the key element, really. If these pictures had solid light, then they would be fine, apart from the fact that Dad's head is kind of awkwardly cropped out. But, you know, that's something I could bring the crop down so that it only is there or something. But the main thing is the light, so we're still working on that, and you can fix it by turning them around. So it looks like it was kind of sunset, and the sun was coming from this angle here. If you just turn them around so that their back is to this bush, and then the skin would be an even color with the light, but also see how dark green this bush is? That's because the sun is shining like on it, or it's in the shade. If you stood over here and shot up this way, the sun will shine through the leaves and it will become more of a pretty lime green color, like what you'd see here. Okay, so the other thing in terms of light is a haze. A lot of your pictures that are coming back have this haze. So I think what you're doing is you are putting the families back to the sun, which is exactly what I'm asking you to do over here, so that when you do that, they've got even light on their face, which they do, that's great, and then the tree behind looks beautiful, that's great. The only problem is that the haze means that we lose the crisp quality of the picture being a portrait. A couple of these is totally fine, it adds kind of an artistic flair, literally, but we can't have a whole series like this, which you did in a few spots. And so basically this happens just when there's too much sun coming into your lens. Like the sun is right here on the edge and it's filling up. So what you have to do to avoid that is just take a step to the side, and then you look through the camera and just keep looking until you see the sun flare go away. And moving the camera so it's pointing directly at the sun, and then gradually, slowly tilting it so that the camera is pointing less and less at the sun until it's completely not at the sun, and you'll see the switch when the flare appears and disappears. And then when you take pictures like this, it'll be really intentional versus, you did it, you were trying to take a clear picture and you ended up getting a sun flare. And the other thing is to just watch out for this here. It's literally a sun flare. And some of the pictures that you've had recently have had this big orange line. It's your lens, so it can be tricky to avoid, but just keep your eye on it. So if you do see it, then just take a step or two to the right or left, and or tilt your camera a bit, and then it should change, because all the sun flares are literally just within inches of movement that cause them. Okay, the next comment is being really aware of making people look their best, especially moms. So I think this mom is, she's trying to get the little kid to look at the camera. She's kind of making all these faces and pointing, and that's not really fair, because the child's pulling her hair. And then she's going, ooh, and so, all that stuff happens, but you have to be aware that, you've got a whole series where she doesn't look good in any of them. Even if we manage to get the little kid to look cute, we have no pictures that are great family pictures, because mom looks kind of silly with all of her faces, and then dad's head is cut off, like there, or there. So you just have to be really conscious of everything that's going on. So while I usually try and be the one that's getting the child's attention and just tell the parents to smile or tell the parents to keep looking at the kid. I don't usually make the parents get the kid to look, because then this is what happens. They're distracted and not looking cute. Yeah, let me think about anything else there. That's probably the main thing, really, is just tell the parents, like, I'll be the one that gets your son to look at me. And, or if the child really needs their parents to guide them, then what you do is let the parents do it. And then as soon as the kid's looking at you, quickly say to the parents, okay, look at me and smile. Or look at him and smile. Versus just letting them stand here awkwardly. Because this picture is all about him, but it's weird to have half of a face. See what I mean? Okay, and then the last thing is just a reference back to the last family that you did when I was telling you about being aware of making sure the pictures are personalized so people know that it's their family member or their child. So here's the baby drinking milk. And this would be a great little advertisement maybe for the milk company. But like, these are wonderful angles. I love the angles. They're just too close in and not showing enough people. So with this shot, for example, I love all these hands everywhere. If you took a step back and I could see dad and mom's lower half of their face, so I could see them smiling. So it's just mom and dad's smile plus the baby drinking milk. That's cute, because they'd know those are our smiles. Or here's a random hand holding a bottle. If you backed up a little bit and had the baby's body and mom's arm, that tells a little bit more of a story, and you can see which baby it is and whose arm it is. Here, again, it's like random chopping off the bottle with an arm underneath and an arm getting chopped off over here. If you bent down lower or knelt down lower, you could take a picture shooting up so you'd see mom's face smiling down at the baby while he was fed versus just the ear. Do you see how that's kind of, this is like a totally random picture. They're not going to frame that and put it on their wall or anything. But if you had mom smiling, then that's, like, this would just be a taller picture with mom's face in it. Then that's a picture they can do something with. So just to review, really careful about the sun, the bright sun on people's faces and creating these dappled looks. Put people's backs to the sun or have them at a 45-degree angle so that the sun is illuminating them from behind and the face skin is completely solid, soft light. Careful for haze and sun flare. Careful to make sure that parents are looking good too, not just the baby. And careful to take detailed pictures and different perspectives that really show off the individual people and not just random body parts. Cool. All right, I hope that helps. Thanks so much, Ashley. Bye.